Topping our politics lead, President Biden making the short trip from the White House to the Capitol today to meet with Senate Democrats during their weekly lunch. A rare visit for Biden as he tries to rally his party despite Republican roadblocks to much of his legislative agenda. I want to bring in the top Democrat in the U.S. Senate, Majority Leader Chuck Schumer of New York. Senator, thank you so much for being with us. I want to get to the president's visit to Capitol Hill in just a moment. But first, I want to ask you about this letter that you and the House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries sent to Fox Corporation Chair Rupert Murdoch about the lies he admitted his network spread on the air in a newly revealed deposition. You wrote in your letter, quote, Fox News hosts have continued to peddle election denialism to the American people. We demand that you direct Tucker Carlson and other hosts on your network to stop spreading false election narratives and admit on the air that they were wrong to engage in such negligent behavior. So, Senator, what are you prepared to do if Fox ignores your demand for an apology?
Well, let me say this first, John, and thanks for asking. The threat to our democracy may be greater than it ever has been before, because when people doubt that the elections are for real, democracy is on edge. After all, the wellspring, the core, the heart of our democracy is that we trust the elections. And, I worry that if this erodes, our democracy will erode, and my children and my grandchildren will not grow up in the grand democracy that gave me, the son of an exterminator, the opportunities that I have had. What caused this? Number one was Fox News and their commentators spreading the big lie day after day, night after night, hour after hour, week after week, year after year. They're the number one cause that there is such erosion in our democracy. And the other day, with the Dominion case and the depositions, we got a real breakthrough. We were told that the commentators like Tucker Carlson and Laura Ingraham didn't believe this stuff. And then finally, yesterday, it was revealed 2 days ago that Rupert Murdoch didn't believe it, number one, knew it was wrong, regretted that he didn't do anything about it. Well, his regrets are not good enough. We need him to take the next step. And the next step is to tell the Carlsons, the Ingrams, and all these other commentators to stop spreading the big lie, to admit what they said was wrong, help restore some of the faith that we have lost in our democracy due to what their network's propaganda has put forward, so we can get it back. And we're waiting to hear from Rupert Murdoch on that right now.
Look, Fox needs to reckon with the lies that it spread, and it may literally have to pay for the lies that it spread. But is it the role of government officials to demand that media organizations say things or tell media organizations what to put on their airwaves?
Well, it's hardly the first time that people have said Channel 4 should have done this, the New York Times should have done that. That's not unusual. But what has happened here is, and John, very unusual. This is not simply telling them what to do. This is telling them, showing them that they have hurt our democracy probably in a way that no other actor, maybe with the exception of Donald Trump, who used them, has done. And so when it's that vital, I think we not only have a right to tell Rupert Murdoch and Fox what to do, but an obligation. And I hope people from one end of the country to the other will call up Fox and say, do what Leader Hakeem Jeffries and I asked for, which is stop the lies, say they were wrong, and report the news. You may have a different way of reporting the news than someone else, fine, but lying is not part of that different way and cannot be.
So the legal filing also reveals that Rupert Murdoch told the head of Fox News to help Republicans in the 2020 Georgia Senate runoff selections, help them in the runoffs in any way we can. That's a direct quote. So given that, and you still call Fox a news organization, but given that, do you think your Democratic colleagues should appear on the channel?
Well, look, I leave it up to each one of them. I mean, putting the truth on Fox News always helps, but the way they portray it, it'll be 1 out of 50 commentators, and then they'll put some other liar up against them, and they'll do he said, she said. They never really do it fairly. But I don't have a problem if people want to go on. But they're way beyond that. And they're way beyond they're even what the chickens came home to roost. It was very good you brought that quote up, John. They said, favor the 22 Republicans. That doesn't mean lying. That doesn't mean deliberately distorting the truth, especially when it's so near and dear to our democracy. I feel this passionately. This is not just a political thing. It's something that I feel, I love this democracy. We line up every November for 200 years and change. We go vote, and the next day, everyone abided by the election, whether we won or lost. Even remember Bush v. Gore. And now all of a sudden, you have this network spreading the lies, doing it very effectively, and making a third of the people, 2/3 of the Republican Party, believe this democracy ain't on the level. You know, when you study dictatorship, this is the beginning of the end. I don't think it'll be that here because the American roots of democracy are strong, but I worry about it, and there's a demand to push back.
Given all of this, in the shadow of all of this, House Speaker Kevin McCarthy is unapologetic about giving Tucker Carlson exclusive access to January 6th security footage. Members of the January 6th committee, now defunct, have slammed this move as a potential security risk. How do you see it?
As despicable of what McCarthy did a week ago, it's even worse now. Because when you hear that Tucker Carlson doesn't give a hoot for the truth, how can he be the arbiter of what these tapes are? First, there's a security risk. He shouldn't get them. He shouldn't release them at all to anybody. But second, when you release them to someone who's a known liar, a known perverter of the truth for his own political purposes, that makes it even doubly disgraceful.
So you had a meeting with President Biden. President Biden was with all of you today. We're looking at pictures of you two after the lunch right now. This comes amid the standoff over raising the debt ceiling between the White House and Republicans. Speaker McCarthy says the president has not followed up from their last meeting and is, quote, putting the economy in jeopardy. Now, he's not the only one with some White House criticism here. Democratic Senator Joe Manchin calls it a mistake for the Biden administration not to negotiate. So what do you say to your Democratic colleague, Joe Manchin?
I say, Joe, my dear friend, I love you, but there's nothing to negotiate with. We have a plan, the Democrats, except for Joe Biden, just about every other member of our caucus, which is we think the debt ceiling should be raised without hostage taking, without brinksmanship, without the risk of saying, do it my way or I'm going to let the country default, because we know how horrible default would be. And so the onus is on Kevin McCarthy. He says he wants cuts. Tell us what the cuts are. Leader McCarthy, we need to see your plan. Where is your plan? You say you want cuts, you have an obligation to show it. And you know why he hasn't done it, John? I don't think he can pass anything in his caucus. So he's trying to deflect by saying, let's negotiate. The president met with him once and said what I'm telling you. We need to see your plan. He said it at our caucus lunch today. We're waiting to see their plan. And if they can't come up with a plan, let them join us, what we did under 3 presidents, twice under Donald Trump, once under Joe Biden, in a bipartisan way, and passed and raised the debt ceiling, debts we've already incurred, a lot of them incurred by Republican votes, a lot of them incurred by Donald Trump. Let's just raise that debt ceiling without brinksmanship, without the risk of the terror of default.
Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon.
Great to be with you, John. It's always a pleasure. Thanks for having me.